Good morning and welcome to the Forex Daily Update, brought to you by Pepperstone on Friday the 26th of October 2018. I'm Darren Sinden and you can follow me throughout the day on Twitter by using @ds_Pepperstone. Right, let's kick off with a look at the overnight changes and price moves to be aware of. And I just want to flag a couple of key points first of all. Strength in the US dollar against the Chinese yuan, and we'll come to the yuan weakness a little bit later in the video. That has had a knock-on effect in Asia, yuan weakness dragging down the Australian and New Zealand dollars, and both of those currencies falling pretty sharply, it must be said, against the greenback. Dollar index for its part trading at 96.64, retaining its position above 96 and probably looking likely to end the week above that key big figure. South African Rand was another loser yesterday against the dollar, the Rand giving up 0.38% against the US currency, and the Canadian dollar and the Mexican peso were also on the slide. Okay, what's on the calendar? Events that may move the markets today. Well, first of all then, to come at 6 AM GMT, we have the rescheduled GfK Consumer Confidence Survey data out of Germany from November, originally on the calendar for yesterday, of course you'll remember. At 06:45 GMT, we will have producer prices out of France for the month of September, and that'll be accompanied by October consumer confidence data out of France as well. At 12:30 then, after a decent break, we hop over the Atlantic for perhaps the pick of the day's data, GDP, gross domestic product data that is, out of the US for Q3, preliminary read, but it'll be very interesting to see what the even this early read suggests about the future for growth in the US in the balance of 2018. Then at the same time, at 12:30 GMT, we will have personal consumption and core personal expenditures data for Q3. A look at effectively how households are spending their money, where they're investing it, where they're saving it, etc. And that'll be followed at 1400 by the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Index for October. Again, a regional survey, but one that's pretty closely followed across the breadth of the US markets, it must be said. At 1400 also, we'll hear from ECB President Mario Draghi, who will be speaking once more, following on from his press conference at the ECB meeting yesterday. And 15 minutes later, he'll be joined by his colleague Benoit Kerr, who will be speaking then. At 1700, to help round off the week, we will have the influential Baker Hughes US oil rig count, a record of the number of active drilling rigs operating in the USA. And then at 19:30, if you're still in the market, we have the weekly release of the Commitment of Traders report from the CFTC. Right, breaking news and comment then that's caught my eye overnight. And first of all, the Chinese renminbi yuan has fallen to its lowest level for a decade versus the US dollar, as the People's Bank of China set the conversion midpoint at a low of 6.95, and it drifted from there. What's interesting, of course, is that the US Treasury declined to name People's Bank of China and China as a whole as a currency manipulator, but it is notable that the central bank has decided to weaken the currency rather than allowing the markets to do the work for it. So watch this space, I feel. China and Japan will conclude their recent trade talks on Saturday with the announcement of a slew of new deals between the two countries. Remember, China was keen to enlist the help of Japan to counter US trade pressures and to be a balancing counterweight, shall we say there. Shares of Foxconn, one of the world's largest tech manufacturing companies, have slumped overnight on trade war fears and worries about the profit margins in its iPhone assembly business. Foxconn is one of the world's largest employers, hundreds of thousands of people employed in that business, and the iPhone assembly business is one of its largest segments. So if there are concerns about the profitability there, that is something for us to take note of. Okay then, food for thought, something to take away with you into the trading day and beyond. Why not think about this? The ECB acknowledged the Eurozone economic slowdown at yesterday's interest rate meeting, but the bank did not feel it necessary to change its plans to withdraw QE at the end of December. So the question I want to ask is that the right decision? And the chart I plotted here shows the growth of the ECB balance sheet plotted against composite PMI, that's services and manufacturing PMI combined, across the Eurozone. And as we can see, the ECB balance sheet has been rapidly expanding, and the trend had been in PMIs for moving higher, shall we say. But as you can see, since the turn of the year, it's taken a very different turn as far as the PMI data is concerned, and we've sold off, or traded down, however you want to put it, very sharply to sub 54 levels on the composite PMI. With the withdrawal of 30 billion euros a month of stimulus from the end of December, one wonders whether those PMIs will continue to head lower. Okay, please take a moment to read the risk warning. Trading CFDs and foreign exchange on margin can be a risky business. If you're in any doubt about those risks or the suitability of leverage products for you, then please do contact your Pepperstone account representative and do take a moment to read this risk warning thoroughly. Thank you for your time.